happens when truth is no longer trending, when silence becomes survival, and the cost of living rises faster than the cost of lying. You're welcome to the Middlemen, the courtroom of conscience where silence is cross-examined and power is put on trial. Here, every case mirrors our reality and every verdict theirs to proffer justice. Our wonderful jurors are here with us today with their cases that challenge the narratives and verdicts that provide clarity. Juror Henry Igwebuike highlights the fact that Nigerian brands often lack the bold vision to scale globally due to limited ambition and strategic mindset in a case he has titled Comfortably Niche, Consciously Local. Our juror from Raye exposes how Nigeria's greatest threat isn't just corruption, but a dangerous culture of willful ignorance and blind loyalty that empowers it. And I, Juror Olajumoke Alawode-James, will be revealing the disturbing truth that in Nigeria, silence empowers oppression in a case that I have titled Politics of Intimidation. These conversations and more will come up right after this very short break. Take your seats, jurors. The gavel drops now. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. My case, Politics of Intimidation. Rita Ushe, known as Raye, the lady who said President Tinubu is a terrible president because youth corps members were still being paid 30,000 naira in March 2025, even though minimum wage became 70,000 naira since last year, has had her service year extended by 2 months as punishment for making that comment. Everyone says it's in the National Youth Service Corps bylaws not to riot, protest, nor speak against the government. I hope Raye gets paid in full for the extra 2 months of service. I also commend her for being bold. If all Nigerians were bold, we would not have politics of intimidation. We would have good governance instead. Peter Obi has also spoken against the demolition of his brother's property in Ikeja GRA without a proper court injunction. His brother was not allowed to remove any item from the premises, amounting to about 1 billion naira in losses. You know, it was rumored that the landmark we saw demolition in Oniru also targeted Peter Obi, believing he owned it or had shares in it. A few people have said the landmark resort had taken more land than it was allocated and government was just taking back their land. But some of us asked what government was doing when it encroached on land that was not theirs, allowed them to spend billions, employ thousands, before using the excuse of wanting to build the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway to demolish it, and then said the road couldn't be built there because of underwater cables. Anyhowness. If Nigerians agree on how to hold governments accountable, I say there will be no politics of intimidation. Supporters of President Tinubu commend him for removing fuel and foreign exchange subsidies, saying no other president before him had the guts. They ask us to hold our governors accountable for the good governance we seek, because the governors now get more federal allocations. But every time we try to hold our leaders accountable, their supporters will give us a reason, a good reason, why what they did is okay. When they can't find a good excuse, they tell us such happens all over the world. Trump did it, Putin did it. But they will not see Kenyans, our African brothers, who got back on the streets this week in their thousands, saying Williams Ruto, the president they all excitedly voted for just a few years ago, must go. Here's my verdict. We enable corruption here. Once it's someone we like, we defend the indefensible, no matter how many lives are affected. The reason it is easy to pick on and intimidate a few people in Nigerian politics is that we all do not come together to fight injustice, maladministration, and oppression. When 20,000 people gather in a spot, even if there are 1,000 armed men facing them, they can only count on fear. If they see that the people are fearless and ready to die, they know even if they start shooting, they will eventually be overrun by the sheer number of the people in front of them. But nobody wants to die in Nigeria. So we all enable politicians to play the politics of intimidation. If Raye didn't speak out, maybe government will still be paying the same 70,000 naira they had promised since last year. You're a little slow in that regard, though. Take two. If Raye didn't speak out, maybe government will not be paying the same 70,000 naira they had promised since last year by now. They even started giving them foodstuff as palliative. Imagine if we all speak in one voice and condemn corruption and high-handedness. Even when it's our brothers or sisters in power, Nigeria will succeed.
Very well. This case is multifaceted because it's virtually touched on multiple areas of our lives that are inadequate. First, you talk about the bylaw of the NYSC. I know where that is. Where you talk about that a youth corps member should not be involved in mutiny, in insurrection. It's not. There's no protest there, criticism and all that. But the truth is that the NYSC bylaw cannot override Section 39 of the 1999 Constitution, which gives us copper or no copper, the right to express, our right to freedom of expression, as stated in that law. Because the Constitution says in Section 1, sub 2, sub 3, Section 1 first said this Constitution is supreme, and its provisions have a binding force on all persons and authority, including the NYSC. You understand? And if any law is inconsistent with the provision of the Constitution shall prevail, and that other law, to the extent of its inconsistency, shall be void. So, on the basis of that, I think it is wrong to punish her for exercising her fundamental right. I mean, the NYSC bylaw is not a military...
it's not superior to our constitution.
And it's not. That's why the Constitution says every person is an authority. You understand? The Constitution should have a binding force, including whatever. So, it is wrong. They are treating her that way because she's under their domain. Because they have something they call a certificate, they may deny her, and they can put her under certain threats. That's why they are doing all that, to punish her and the rest of that. And I feel that is one way we go wrong with citizenship and with the way we treat dissent in this country. In some other society, they will research into why she's voicing out. Okay? They will look at what could have prompted her. Sometimes they even check her medical condition. Yes, they will check her psychological and all that, do evaluation to find out how much pressure the society is putting on her that she cannot bear, like any other person.
Yeah.
So they will do all that. But here, they just ask you to shut up.
It's to vilify.
Yes, there's a woman who told her to,
do you know who you are talking about? Go and pull it down.
Yeah, you understand. And they threatened her.
They threatened her.
They do also.
Okay, so they've done their worst too.
Yeah, no, I think we must get some things very clear here. NYIC has debunked that. That particular message that went viral was posted by Juror. NYSC has come out to say it's a lie, that Raye is still currently serving. And if she thinks that she has overstayed her time in the NYC, she should come out and say, and she hasn't said anything yet.
Okay.
So everything we're discussing about extension is as a result of what was posted by Juror, not by Raye or the NYSC.
Juror said Raye was crying. She called her mother, and so she's not. So they asked her to come and talk, and she said she's not in the right frame of mind to say anything. And I mean, and this has gone on for over 3 days. You know, the Juror post. We have not heard anything. You know, really debunking it. Aside from you saying now that NYSC has come out to deny it.
Just 2 hours back, I just read it. NYSC equally say the same thing, so that she's still serving, and when it's her time to get off, that she would gladly go without any issue, you know, whatsoever. But yes,
they better not vilify her
or for freedom of speech.
Yeah, because you know, see, this country is just waiting for any kind of injustice.
Any excuse.
Any injustice that will lead to another protest. You understand?
Oh, I get what you mean now.
They should not, I mean...
They better be pacifying us.
They've done enough.
Because today, I was just thinking about it. I was complaining under President Buhari that I used to spend 40,000 naira per month for buying fuel. Okay. Because he went from 87...
Well, 190 then.
He went from 87 naira that he met to 1 something and then 244. It was at 244 I started spending 40,000. Today I was now thinking, hold on, no, you were complaining in the days of 40,000. It's now over 200,000 that I spend on fuel a month.
Yes.
So how much does your salary have to be for you to be spending 200,000 on fuel a month? Because to fill my tank is 50,000, 52. It's now even 900 and something again. They say because of Iran and Israel. So all of us are just waiting for one small spark like this.
I don't even think the spark would come, because pre-independence, the British colonial authority, marched down the trough of descents, the Nnamdi Azikiwes, the Herbert Macaulays. And from 1966 to 1999, military, they were all there. We can remember Decree number 4 of 1984.
Yes, so
which criminalized anyone that published anything against the government. They would hold you down. Jonathan equally clamped down on hashtag Occupy in Nigeria protesters. Muhammad Buhari did for NSAS. Bola Tinubu is doing for end bad governance.
But
so all of this
Jonathan allowed he allowed it until the day that they stopped it.
What he did.
No, the day that they stopped it, they overnight, they just rolled out. That time we used to go and protest and go back home. They just rolled out the tanks overnight so that in the morning, as people were trying to gather, they could no longer gather.
And see what they did.
But they were there for 2 weeks.
Hold on. And see what they did. When they came, they drove people away.
They didn't allow you gather.
They didn't shoot people.
They didn't shoot anybody.
They didn't arrest people and put them in. That was why Jonathan said that it's after he leaves that we will know how much right.
Yes, so we have now known. 10 years after Jonathan,
so
the reality is dawning on us.
They were just chasing people away. Okay, which was wrong, It was
against our rights at the time. We also complained about it. We did not know that anybody would be worse.
Okay, to be arresting and be putting in detention and be prosecuting them and be charging them for treason and treasonable felony and the rest of that. That was not what we had under Jonathan. We had a better deal. The human rights, the index was not this polarized.
I mean, he's a PhD now. We were complaining under Jonathan. We did not know that APC would show us fire. But see what happened with Peter Obi.
Yes.
And his brother's place. Go ahead, sir.
Yes. No, I actually wanted to get to asking this very important question. Is there a society free of clampdown on dissent? I don't think there is. Historically.
No. What happened is when
you come to
dissent descends into when dissent descends into conduct likely to breach public peace, the police will come in. You understand? But not until then. They do not,
they don't hinder you.
In first world countries, they do not clamp down on you because you are protesting. They clamp down on you when the protest now goes
violence.
Oh, okay. So
that because while they are protesting, you will even see the police protecting them.
Yes.
They will have their batons just in case one person wants to use the protest to steal or do something. They will have their shields, right? They will just stand.
They do that here too. This protest in Delta and this light protest, even soldiers were discussing with the protesters. They were all talking.
That's how all of
a sudden, the police, there was an order from the police. And it was not the army that made it violent, it was the police. And you know what the army did? At some point, the army started chasing the police out of the place.
Really?
Yes. Because
you are fighting for what benefits them.
See what they did now. When they chased the people that are far, their bike were all on the ground. They used their knife and started stabbing the tools.
Really?
Wow.
And set one of the bike ablaze. And that guy, they set his bike ablaze. Took that bike on hire purchase. That's the case. That's the case we are filing today in Delta. As I speak here, we are filing that matter at the Federal High Court. It's ongoing now. So the truth of the matter is that our policemen, our security agents, they need to learn from the first world country. We're not saying those ones are perfect because we saw how the Black Lives Matter went.
Yes.
And that is just a policeman.
Yes.
And he was even cautioned by his fellow policemen before that man finally died. You understand? But our own case, listen, in the West, the first world countries, their law enforcement agencies are not the worst hit in the economy, unlike ours. Police are the worst hit.
Another angle.
They are the one in Band E. They're the one that cannot send their children to private school.
Very
They're
true.
the ones that their barracks are dirty from gate to the back
I
gate.
went to their barracks, so
They are the
very
ones that,
dirty.
Okay, now.
The gutter stinks.
Don't go there.
Now it's the same,
Oh, God.
now it's the same people that the government use to clamp down on when we are advocating for equal society,
Very
equal
true.
right and justice.
Yeah.
We're asking for a better way, a better society, better wages, better everything. Is that those same people, police, that they will use to clamp? The next thing they will tell you is that they are doing their job. And I said, excuse me, you're not doing your job. You're not doing your job. Your job is the protection of life and property.
Very true.
This thing you are doing now, does it fall under the protection of life and property? No. It's destruction. You are destroying people's bike, putting fire on people's bike, and the rest of that. You know how much it costs to get a bike now, just one? It's close to $1 million.
$1 million plus, yeah.
So when Peter Obi was talking about his brother's demolition, somebody now said, hey, it's all over. They are demolishing things in Ogun State, demolishing things in Ondo State. And I said, when we come together to criticize government as one, it will be difficult for them to go and burn Jumoke's father's house in Gongon, right? Because how many people's houses will you burn? It's when the voices of opposition or government criticism, they are isolated, that you can pick them out and intimidate them. So Nigerians, rather than join you so that there are many of us, they say, better keep quiet before they come for you. It's only civilians that you will find the Nigerian officials coming for. They have never come for terrorists who are branding their loot on social media. It's a very unfortunate situation. But my advocacy today is for all of us to come together as one and decide, unless and until Nigerians decide what good governance is to us and what bad governance is to us. Because today, the exact same thing, using the example of APC, the exact same thing they were criticizing under Jonathan, they have now done worse. And their supporters will now say, they made an empty treasury, it is done all over the world.
This is to tell you they were never sincere.
Very true.
With what they were saying. They were just doing
They just wanted to get into power.
Yeah, they were just doing to victimize
The
Jonathan
government in power.
And then push him away and all that.
And then get into power and become worse than him.
Now they have the floor. They cannot do anything. Even when they were protesting, nobody arrested them.
Very true.
At that time.
Exactly.
Very true.
You understand? Even
Nobody shot at them.
Tinubu tweeted then. They tweeted, and when
That Jonathan should resign.
you understand? So at the end of the day, now what you have is they cannot tolerate any of that, and that is what they gave. They cannot, So
the
that's
society is actually battered as we speak. There's a social activist, Isa Baku, a Nigerian from Kano, a citizen of America. He came back home hoping to draw the Almajiris out of town to school. He wanted to set up a tech hub where these people, these young cards, can come there and learn and get better and all. Guess what happened? Politicians representing the other constituency in Kano were telling him that he should never dare do that.
They need the people poor.
So we have a battered society that is
them as an army during election.
Very true. They need the people poor.
If those children
go to school,
enter that class and spend 1 month,
and they know their rights,
when they spend 1 month, they will not come out to
be exactly as weapons of mass destruction.
So I mean, that guy should know better. I like his concept. He's looking at a changed society.
Exactly.
You understand? And you see these small Almajiri boys like they tie rope on plates like this. Yeah. Their level of intelligence.
Anyone that gets the opportunity of attending school, they're always the best.
Yes.
Best in their class, best in everything.
Why? You know why? At a very tender age, they have been exposed to survival. You understand? So having seen that side,
by the time you bring them to this other side,
they can pick anything. Many of them read.
In fact, they have photographic memory.
Yes.
Wow.
You know, they have crammed the Quran so very much that when they now transition to conventional school and all that, they're always the best.
They are very good. So they know that.
That's our brilliant, maybe our aeronautic engineers.
They are trapped there.
Our rocket scientists.
They
are our
nuclear
scientists.
scientists.
They are our marjories today.
All of them.
But all of us, until we agree, you know, to speak with one voice, they are going to continue to play the politics of intimidation. We will take a quick break, and when we return, Juror Henry Igwebuike will be here to present his case titled Comfortably Niche, Cautiously Local. Do stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Middlemen. 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 Middlemen.
Citizen Jones selected prologues of Volume 1 now available. Get your copy now.
For details, contact 0706 9637 935 or send an email to enterprisetv@gmail.com. Citizen Jones selected prologues, a classical compendium of compelling arguments.
Middlemen.
The highly anticipated book titled Citizen Jones Selected Prologues is finally here.
This exclusive new book takes you on a journey through the finest writing of the ace journalist and broadcaster that will leave you inspired and informed.
Citizen Jones Selected Prologues of Volume 1 now available. Get your
Middlemen. Middlemen. Middlemen.
Thank you for staying tuned. This is still The Middleman on Enterprise Television. My case, comfortably niche, cautiously local. Watching a documentary on KFC sparked a thought. If Chicken Republic were an American brand, would it have gone global by now? That's the catch question. Both brands run a similar model. Chicken-centered menus, fast service and simplified logistics. Yet, while KFC has become a global force, Chicken Republic seems content operating within Nigeria and a few West African markets. This isn't to say that only American brands can scale globally. That argument oversimplifies things, but it does raise an important question. Why do so few Nigerian brands outside of our major banks push beyond our borders? We often see minor expansions, maybe into Ghana or a little bit of UK, but rarely anything with aggressive international ambition. What sets a global brand apart is the question. What's missing in the DNA or strategy of our homegrown companies that prevent them from taking bold, intentional, international strides? This is a serious conversation that needs attention, especially among the next generation of entrepreneurs. Because if we don't crack this now, ladies and gentlemen, when will we? My verdict: Chicken Republic's limited expansion isn't just a matter of product quality or market readiness. It's a reflection of a broader mindset among many Nigerian brands. Comfort within boundaries. While the brand has proven its strength locally, global relevance requires strategic ambition, bold investment, consistent branding, and a system scalable across cultures. The verdict is clear. Nigeria has the talent and potential to birth global brands, but until companies in Nigeria shift from survival mode to visionary thinking, we will keep exporting raw materials, not powerful names. It's time to stop playing small and start building brands that can stand tall on the world stage.
Henry, this your case is very idealistic. I'll tell you why. You see the global brands, KFC branches in Nigeria are closing down. Because it's easier to do business where they are coming from, where power is constant, where governments may give you tax holidays and all sorts of infrastructure boosts. You are your own government here. So there's one pizzeria that came to Nigeria that Church's Chicken. We were also excited. Yeah, whoa, we were. They didn't spend. They are 2 years rent. They did not. I don't think they finished using it before they shut down. At the point that I was entering their store and I saw that they were selling one pizza for, at that time maybe it was 7,000, 10,000. Meanwhile, just right next door was St. Elmo's that had slices. They will not do the pack, they will do slice 250 naira. So that the girl next door who is doing sales girl or some, because I mean in my area it's pretty much residential except the main road that is commercial. So the people who are coming, who are sales girls or employees, they cannot afford 7,000 for lunch every day. You have to also look at your market. By the time I entered and I was saying, oh, only you is entering there and they have to put on jail 24 hours, I knew they were going to shut down that year. So the local brand that is contending with constant electricity not being available, they have to be their own power source, be their own government, everything that they need to operate as a business, they have to provide it for themselves. They either die within 1 year or to maintain the business structure, because there's also the human capacity part of it. To maintain the business structure, look at Tasty Fried Chicken, for instance. It's over 25 years. The woman lost her son, and today the brand is also dying. No succession plan. Nigerian business, look, I cannot abuse them. Oh, we're done.
But that ties to the topic.
But
that ties to the topic.
Let's start from this question. Let's start from asking this question: that why are the multinationals closing up and going back?
God bless you. Good question.
You see, it's tough to do business in the Nigerian field, apart from the banks.
Please, can I shake you?
That are in African countries and some of them in the UK and America. Apart from the banks, there's no other Nigerian business that has crossed the border of Nigeria to do business. First, can you deal with the exchange rate to start with? Because I mean, I went to the US. I thought I was with enough money. It was when I got to the soil that I discovered that the money I have cannot even take me for
1 week,
for 1 month. And in my head, I was calculating
for 6 months,
5 months. I'll be able to roll over. It's not so. So you are going to earn the money here, because if you are going to invest, you are earning the money locally and you are investing internationally
in dollars.
You don't have the financial capacity.
You don't have the capacity.
You understand?
Bam.
Even here,
number one, bam.
Even here that they are doing the business environment cannot even allow you to think about international, because the business environment holds you at the jugular. You are producing light. You are living
from hand to mouth.
You are producing light. You are paying salaries. You are taking loans. Okay, you are servicing the loan and you are doing all that. So at the end of the day, it's not just about the vision. Okay, many of them have the vision. Okay, but
it's not easy.
The capacity to sustain that vision, and then except you have something like a church. Okay, for churches, people donate money every week. You understand?
So they don't have cost of production.
So you can mop up the funds and internationalize the church. You understand?
Yes.
And because the religion,
because there's no cost of production.
Yes.
That money is coming to you pretty much free.
It's a net profit now.
There's no God bless
overhead.
You. God bless
the overhead
you.
They are dealing with now, maybe diesel for the week
and then maybe
salaries. You
That's
understand?
all.
You are not really buying.
You are not buying raw materials.
Materials in huge quantity to process.
And produce.
To do all that.
Your service.
And you also know that these are funds coming from charity. donations, willful donations.
Wisdom,
So at the end of the day, you can see that Nigerian churches are all over the world.
Yeah.
Nigerian banks are all over the world, but the bank also have that capacity. But when you talk about not a service rendering company, but a production company.
That you're selling products.
So we prefer to just sell the raw material than to process it, have a company, then go international.
Do you have electricity to process?
The tax over there too.
But don't you think at the same time, if we give these excuses, we are still not hopefully thinking of going global?
They are not excuses. They are not excuses.
Excuse
they are
me.
just reality.
Let me hit the nail on the head to tell you it's not an excuse. I sell a product, right, that is made in China because our raw material, right, the Ganoderma is in China. They're grown in China. The company is based in Canada, right? It's a Chinese man who migrated to America. Our headquarters is in Canada. So every country that we go to open in, to keep the potency of the product, we just ship the products there, right? Guess what? In Nigeria, for a box of coffee that is 15, it used to be $7, $15, right? When we started, you say 10,000, 12,000, you know. If you have a taste of the product, you like it, you will say, oh, this is not just coffee. So you excuse it with that. How much is cappuccino? Starbucks over there, just one cup. You excuse the cost away. See, the same $15, by the time it was getting to 20,000 naira, 40,000 naira for one box of coffee, the Nigerian market could no longer afford it.
It cannot afford it.
40,000 for a box of coffee is the way I'm now using 200,000 to fuel my car. Your salary cannot be 250,000 to be buying fuel. More importantly,
disparity in the exchange
more
rate.
importantly, our company is based in Canada. By the time you carry that your Nigerian 40,000 per box, and is now in billions, you cannot even now repatriate it in dollars because you can't find the dollars to buy. So your company is now, your money
It's trapped.
is trapped. So it's the same way you in Nigeria, you want to go and open in America. Let's even say to open in Ghana may not be so difficult, right? Although the Ghanaian cedis is the best currency in the world
It's
now.
difficult.
It's-
It's difficult.
But you now have to take that your naira in billions. You think it's big money. Convert it to dollars and realize we are not even started.
But let me just give you an example. I watched Lions Den America. A young man who said that he was motivated by his friend that brought in Gary and groundnut and sugar. He takes it off often.
Cassava flakes.
Yes,
Cassava
exactly.
flakes.
And the young man introduced that, went to raise funds or something. He got 3 million as investment for doing the same thing that we all know, which is very so common. So the question is, don't you think it's a lack of we not being ambitious enough? Because that American man who doesn't even know what Gary is had taken advantage of the opportunity and is going global with it.
Well,
so why not we
I see what I'm
equally
giving
use the same opportunity,
Well, I've given
take what
you-
we know how to do best,
Well,
take
I've
it
given-
outside there and behave
Juror-
like the same
Juror Henry.
American who raised funds.
Well, I've given you examples of how foreign investors, right, come into Nigeria and invest and then shut down. Where's ShopRite today? Shut down within the year. It's because cost of doing business is hard, right? Running generator. Just give Nigeria 24 hours electricity and see if we don't start to export our products. Minister of Agriculture Audu Ogbe under Buhari wanted to export yam. The yams got rotten at our own ports before they departed. They were returned from America. Ghanaian yams that you will find on tables in the UK are from Nigerian yam seedlings. When you have constant power, there's no magic you cannot perform all over the world. They will come and take our yam seedlings.
Storage.
Go and plant in Ghana. Store it in boxes.
It was the heat that
and
spoiled the yam.
transport. Yes, now. The Ghanaian yam you are buying in UK is Nigerian yam. So how is Ghana doing it and Nigeria cannot do it? It's storage now. My cousin came and was saying, agriculture in Nigeria is now a big deal. Everybody is doing it. You have to go and do it. I say, I absolutely agree with you. It's not like Nigerians are too lazy to farm. All of us know, even if it's just for consumption, we know the importance of farming. Is that you plant everything finish. I had one cousin that, didn't it happen to Dangote? It happened to my cousin. Just pests inside your harvest. You have planted 30 acres. They say worms enter the tomato. That's it. It has finished. What of our plantain? If you go to the villages, the plantain is very cheap. By the time you transport it, cost of transportation, half of the plantain that even spoils before it reaches the consumer. Is how the entire chain process of the things that we want to produce here. Nigerian boys are doing very well in IT abroad though. Those ones that they just stay on their phone and somebody say I want to do website. We are very good when it's producing service that you are not buying foreign exchange or anything. But when it's to produce a product for sale, Nigerian companies I give you.
The environment is not ripe for that. They say when you don't have power, first of all, you are like 50% disadvantaged. You don't have power, so you cannot store, you cannot process. That's it. Now, the remaining part of it is
the forex.
You are going to deal with bigger currencies. Okay, by the time you do the exchange, you are not like people. Our naira is not like people cannot. Tissue paper now. Like the example you gave, not like people cannot do what the American guy did. You understand? But you see, our business environment has so weakened even our vision. There's a way you live long under this kind of circumstances. You find it difficult to even apply your vision. Yeah, because
please do not pardon me that I want to interrupt you.
The environment
you know that now all of us are buying Gucci mix blender to do processing for everything. You remember the yam processors that our mothers used to buy?
Yes.
He was one professor in University of Ife at that time. Yes, it was University of Ife before it became OAU. That went to Ministry of Science and Technology and say, this one that our mothers are using mortar and pestle to pound yam. He has created one machine. They looked at him up and down and said that this thing will not work in Nigeria. The man was almost frustrated until he carried his invention to the UK. Guess what? It was funded in the UK. Who are the market for the yam processors? Nigerians. We started importing them.
Started buying it. They are even using it to pound fufu and other
I grew up using the yam pounder now.
Even in the villages.
He was a Nigerian professor that invented it.
Even in the villages, is that machine they are using now.
Oh, okay.
You understand? So we need to look at, for government to create an enabling environment for us, first we must have power supply. We must have power supply. Then we must have public health care. And then we must have all amenities, social amenities. Water, lights, and all that. That's it.
All right, so we would go on a quick break, and when we return, Juror Evans Ufeli will be here to represent his case titled Dear Idiot. Don't go away.
Middlemen. Middlemen.
The highly anticipated book titled The Citizen Jones Selected Prologues is finally here.
This explosive new book takes you on a journey through the finest writing of the ace journalist and broadcaster that will leave you inspired and informed.
The Citizen Jones Selected Prologues of Volume 1 now available. Get your copy now.
For details, contact 0706 9637 935 or send an email to enterprisetv@gmail.com. Citizen Jones Selected Prologues, a classical compendium of compelling arguments.
The highly anticipated book titled The Citizen Jones Selected Prologues is finally here.
This explosive new book takes you on a journey through the finest writing of the ace journalist and broadcaster that will leave you inspired and informed.
The Citizen Jones Selected Prologues of Volume 1 now available. Catch your copy now.
For details, contact 0706 9637 935 or send an email to enterprisetv@gmail.com. Citizen Jones Selected Prologues, a classical compendium of compelling arguments.
The highly anticipated book titled The Citizen Jones Selected Prologues is finally here.
This
Hi there, this is City to City on Enterprise TV, and today we have a wonderful guest for this interview. Stay back and relax. This is someone you want to meet. Welcome back to City to City on Enterprise TV. Today we have a wonderful guest, one who is special to us and one who is making us very proud in Nigeria. We are in Atlanta, Georgia, and today we are going to talk about a very important issue. So let's meet our guest. Let's meet Miss Brown.
Hello there. My name is Wanevichi Brown. I'm one managing partner.
Middlemen. Middlemen. Middlemen.
The highly anticipated book titled The Citizen Jones Selected Prologues is finally here.
This explosive new book takes you on a journey through the finest writing of the ace journalist and broadcaster that will leave you inspired and informed.
The Citizen Jones Selected Prologues of Volume 1 now available. Catch your copy now.
For details, contact 0706 9637 935 or send an email to enterprisetv@gmail.com. Citizen Jones Selected Prologues, a classical compendium of compelling arguments.
The highly anticipated book titled The Citizen Jones Selected Prologues is finally here.
This explosive new book takes you on a journey through the finest writing of the ace journalist and broadcaster that will leave you inspired and informed.
The Citizen Jones Selected Prologues of Volume 1 now available. Catch your copy now.
For details, contact 0706 9637 935 or send an email to enterprisetv@gmail.com. Citizen Jones Selected Prologues, a classical compendium of compelling arguments.
Middlemen. 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 Middlemen.
You are welcome back to the Middlemen of Jurors. My case, dear idiots. In contemporary social dynamics, one concept stands out with striking clarity: the theory of idiocy, as articulated by Dietrich Bonhoeffer. His assertion that stupidity is a far more formidable adversary than evil profoundly underscores the nature of human behavior. especially in a society rife with manipulation and conflict. Bonhoeffer's notion isn't about dismissing individuals with intellectual disability, but rather illuminating a grave social phenomenon, the voluntary abdication of critical thinking. Individuals surrender their judgment and autonomy, becoming prey to the whims of potent forces, political, social, and others. This reality has never been more prevalent than in contemporary Nigeria, where the flippant disregard for consequences is alarmingly commonplace. Reflect on the three categories of people proposed by ancient Greek philosopher: the idiots, the tribalists, and the citizen. First, the idiots. These are individuals who act without consideration, moving through life in a haze of disengagement, oblivious to the ramification of their actions. They may not lack intelligence, but they lack a sense of accountability. In Nigeria, we see this manifested in various sectors, where leaders and citizens alike make reckless decisions with little regard for their nation's future. The philosopher's quip is telling. One idiot leads to another, eventually forming a political party. It reflects the circle of unbridled foolishness that can permeate governance and societal norms. Two, the tribalists. This category is equally concerning. Tribalists operate under a creed of allegiance to their group, often prioritizing blind loyalty over moral judgment. In a country as diverse as Nigeria, where ethnic and tribal affiliation runs deep, this mentality can lead to polarizing and divisive action that undermine national unity. The tribalists may support detrimental policy or leaders simply because they belong to the same group, perpetuating a culture of ignorance and complicity. Three, the citizens. In contrast, the citizens embody the ideals of responsibility, foresight, and morality. They understand that their action resonates beyond themselves, shaping the collective destiny of their nation. Unfortunately, the prevalence of citizens in Nigeria is disturbingly low, with many preferring the comfort of ignorance or the ease of alignment with idiots and tribalists. In discussing Nigerians' socio-political environment, it becomes evident that the nation teeters perilously close to the edge of absurdity. The absence of critical engagement and collective responsibility foster a fertile ground for corruption, inefficiency, and division. As Bonhoeffer posited, confronting evil, though challenging, is still achievable. However, fighting against widespread stupidity, particularly when it is embodied by power, remains an uphill battle. Yet, all is not lost. As citizens, we hold the potential to shift the narrative. We can cultivate critical thinking, champion accountability, and foster a sense of community that transcends tribal divide. It begins with individuals choosing to act with awareness of their impact, transforming the idiots and tribalists into engaged citizens. My verdict: the theory of idiocy serves as a poignant reminder of our moral obligation in a world inundated with noise and distraction. Let us therefore strive to be the informed citizen who affect change, prioritize the common good, and challenge the dangerous allure of ignorance. Only then can we hope to break free from the shackles of idiocy and strive towards a brighter future for Nigeria. I shall go to Rabbi again.
Very informative. Very
Can I just
so
say that I'm a Nigerian citizen, not say Nigerian idiot?
You know, this work by
Maybe am I tribalistic?
yes. You know, this particular work reminds me of similar academic works. Number one is the Dunning-Kruger effect,
Yeah.
which says that a person of low capacity or low ability tends to overestimate himself.
Very
Then the
true.
second one is the theory of mass stupidity,
Ewo.
where an intelligent person, right, if he gets himself insulated into a population of stupid people,
Mass idiots.
they all become mass
nuisance.
nuisance. Then the second one is the law of human stupidity,
Ewo.
which actually distills human beings into 4 categories: the intelligent people, the helpless people, the bandits, and the stupid people.
Ewo.
You know, so all of these things, if you add them and distill them as much as you can, you see that everyone is can see himself, you know, sieved into one category
Or the other.
another. And the question is, where do you belong
Citizenship.
in that whole pool? where do you belong? Unfortunately, we have Nigerians who don't even know where they belong to.
There are a lot of us don't know.
You know,
lot of us don't know.
and that is why you see a parliamentarian, a politician, who prior to election will say, I will do this, I will do that, I will make sure this is done. He is part of the system. He is a casualty
Of the system.
of the system. But when he gets there,
Once he
fails
gets to the other side, he will be looking down from the plane window. That all these thatched roofs, we need to demolish them.
that's theory of mass stupidity.
To have a good view.
So that when you are landing in the federal capital, what you are looking at is bright light
He forgets that.
and greenery.
He forgets that place people's village.
The owners of the land gone. He said they should go and wipe them out.
And he forgets also that their representative was in the house there.
Exactly.
Those people,
Yes.
their own representative was equally in the
This
house.
which theory will we of is it nuisance value or stupidity?
It's not a citizen. Nigeria have a very low supply
It's
of
not a
citizens.
citizen. That's why he would even talk to Obi Ezekwesili the way it was.
Yes.
They are a very stupid woman. You a 40-something-year-old man talking to a 60-something-year-old woman.
once
like that.
once you have a person that does not care about the consequence of his actions, the far-reaching effect of his action is not a citizen. It's not a citizen. Citizens are people who, before they take decisions, they consider the future of their country.
Can we analyze Nigerians, therefore, that less than half of us are citizens? Because
No,
what
less.
is my brother
Less,
in
yeah.
power? We have over 400 ethnic groups.
That's tribalists you are going to define now.
Those
Those ones, they are
what
only
is my
concerned.
brother in power?
Yeah, clanism. They are only concerned about.
He cannot do any wrong, go.
Yes, that's it.
Our cameraman here, Ayo, his brother in the Senate. That's now it's them that is Senate president. They cannot do any wrong because it's his brother there. Meanwhile, if we are citizens and we all agree to one rule, that regardless of who is there, be you an illiterate with well, cannot call schools at illiterate, be you with SSC, WAEC, or PhD, or you're Yoruba or Hausa, or you're Muslim or Christian or traditional worshipper, because all of us, we demonize traditional worship, and then we'll go between it
Yes,
behind,
we'll
because that's the one we know works faster than the one
and
that
better.
we are borrowed. But once
More
we all
potent.
agree, regardless of which group you fall into in terms of nationality or religion, we will all then say, oh no, this is good. Oh yes, that one is bad. You know, because unless and until we do that, no matter how crazy you think a Nigerian politician is today, you will find people defending him.
I do not know if the problem we have is the more than enough fragmentation that we have, that it's a good and a bad one. You know, it's good because it helps check and balance, right? It's bad because it tears us all apart. True. We are never in unison in anything. Yes. There's always someone that will say, no, I don't agree.
I did an advocacy against the movement of Okowa, the deputy governor, the current governor of Delta State, to another. And I was in that Arise TV, I was talking about that we Deltans must resist this kind of movement when they lie to us. Some people went under the comment section and say, when you say we, you and who?
That you are talking for yourself.
And these are Deltans.
You are talking for yourself.
The worst hit.
If it is their brother that has just moved, the person who is fueling or sponsoring their livelihood, then you cannot say we on their behalf.
Well, how do we grow like that?
That's the point we're all driving at this table today.
We cannot grow like that.
Unless and until. So my own, if you remember the introduction, I was saying that my case is very similar to yours. And, you know, that's the point. That if we, you know, do not agree on what is good and what is bad and stand by it, Nigeria cannot move forward.
Yes, and you see,
because when you say hold somebody accountable, the issue that we need to send somebody, aside from using the law, because the law is at least written down, right? But I'm talking more about morals and ethics. Something that we're all supposed to condemn and say, no, Senate President, go and answer the question, even if he's not going to step down. There's a query, an accusation against you. You cannot be a judge in your own case. Step down first and answer it. They say, no. If he does that, everybody will be bringing case against him, so he'll be stepping down every day. Come on. If you cannot agree on what is right, then what are we doing?
Do you know that sometimes the constituency a senator, for example, represent, that constituency usually may not even believe that their senator can do anything wrong.
I've used you as an example.
Their mark is that they are plotting to remove him so that they can put another tribe. You understand that?
Meanwhile, he's not doing anything for them.
Yes, not doing anything for them. No, it's just about, it's just
the emotional attachment that is my tribe that is there.
To appease,
just like
their psychology.
Yes.
I once worked somewhere. Let me tell you a short story. I once worked somewhere and we had this tax. We were to conduct exam for a huge number of applicants. You understand? And it gets so tough that we're all in a team. Okay, but once the exam commenced and everybody came under pressure, the leader of the group, my team, stopped speaking English. Started speaking his language with the 4 persons who are in the team with us. So we could no longer understand him because it wasn't. We said we'll go this way. Okay. When things started going this way,
you did not understand again.
He was only speaking to the 4 guys in the team that they are from the same place. You understand? So his allegiance
was not to his own people.
Yes, it's not to the
entire group.
It's not for the progress of the team. But he has developed clanism within that. It happens to many of us. When we're under intense pressure, we just turn around and look for who's from my tribe. That you want
Where's my own person?
Yeah, you want to confide in. And the rest of that. So
typical
sometimes
example.
Unconscious, we are tribalists.
Typical example.
Not citizens.
I was criticizing President Buhari for replacing everybody in the federal constituency with his own people. See President Tinubu, the exact same thing.
He has done worse.
No, Tinubu is even deeper.
He's done worse than what Buhari.
One by one. You know, we have 2,000 agencies. One by one, like I will get to you.
So no matter your education, I think what education does on that is just to take you away from a step, take you from that,
a step higher.
Yeah, from idiocy to tribalism. We never really emerge as citizens.
Jesus.
Yeah, because of the baggages and our alliances, we are not truly, our allegiance is not truly to Nigeria.
Very true.
Yeah, it's not.
But again, Nigeria. Let us examine this thing you just said. I'm a Yoruba girl. What's the Nigerian culture? Answer me.
Nigeria is not.
They amalgamated us across nations.
We are people of
you see, they put us. Look, I have no problem.
Administrative convenience.
I have no problem with a Togolese, a Chadian, a Ghanaian. But when you have put a Fulani, an Igbo person, along with me, and call all of us one, and we're very different. Then, because we are different, we start to fight each other.
It behoves of us to repress the difference and advance humanity.
I agree.
Advance
because the advantages of our unity is greater
than diversity.
But you know the truth.
So our culture is intertwined.
Yes. I agree.
But it's difficult to come up to come up from clanism, to pull yourself out from tribalism to citizenship. It's very difficult. Even though we all refer to ourselves as citizens, but in reality,
again,
we do not behave.
I think it's in our subconscious, because you will just see me switch to Yoruba at some point. I don't even know that I've done it.
That's what I'm
it's
saying.
awesome. Actually, the flip side, there are always two sides to every coin.
Yes.
When you have people of different culture, tongues, and tribes come together, even if what is joining them is centrifugal force that winds and winds and winds. The reason why it is winding in unison is because there's energy that's turning it around. Once that energy is plugged off, everybody goes away.
Yes.
So it's a centrifugal force that's holding us together.
Okay.
The good part of it is that as far as that energy is still
there,
on, we would continue to be one.
Okay, what's that energy in Nigeria today? Tell me.
That energy, what exactly is that energy?
No, the energy is that we are united under one country.
Is that all? Because if I see you, my Igbo brother, in the abroad, I forget that you are Igbo and I'm Yoruba. Yes. My Nigerian brother, I will hug you.
Yeah, that's because we are out of our environment.
So could that be the energy that's holding us?
No, we're not referred to. No, what is the energy holding us?
Yes.
I mean, holding us together. We have been carved out as a nation.
Yes, now.
We have common pledge. We have common national anthem. We live in the same space.
Okay.
We are supposed to profess patriotism together as one nation under God.
But even
we have
if
a
people
common
don't,
constitution.
yes.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Those are the things. We went to school together.
Okay.
We went to churches together, irrespective of the tribe. You
Very
understand?
true.
Then, but when we want to take from the society to get advantage of our citizenship, to be rewarded
we will
as citizens,
our
now start to remember that. No, I will not put.
Evans.
I will not appoint a Fulani. I will not appoint.
Evans.
I will appoint only my tribe.
I think it is the politicians that have fueled this thing that you're talking about.
That is it.
I do not remember that I am different from you or I am different from Henry when we are working together, when we are eating amala together.
Yes.
We don't remember. I love Ofe Salah. I love Eddie Kaikon. You know, so we have entered ourselves. But when it comes to politics, because the politicians need us to be divided for their own advantage, they are the ones who normally would, pour petrol on that division.
Just look at when.
Because see what happened in Lagos State
last election.
Gubernatorial election. My seatmate in primary school was Chinedu. As a child, I did not know he was a boy and I'm a girl and that his tribe was different. We grew up together. Then you don't say we should go to the polls. And you are telling a few people that when you see Chinedu coming, you should send him back home because this is not their land.
Yeah.
I'm from Osun State. Lagos is not my land. How am I different from Chinedu?
Even the gubernatorial candidate of PDP, they said the mother is Igbo. That he should go back to Anambra to contest. Now you see, it's only when Nigeria is playing football. Okay. You cannot find a Fulani man. You cannot find a Yoruba man. It's just like when Paul went to Galatia and he was talking to them that who have bewitched them with Jews or Gentiles. There's neither Jews nor Gentiles because the blood of Jesus came for the remission of sin.
Yes.
So that's line
has washed away that line.
Yeah, that line
of division.
That tribe and ethnicity created has been wiped off by the blood of Jesus. So that there's neither Jews nor Gentiles. They should all be merge and be one. So that particular narrative, perhaps.
Very true. So when it's Yusuf that scores the goal, I will not
shout.
I will not shout. What's wrong with this one? I will say, yay!
We don't even look at the players and say, why are there more Igbos
Very true.
Than Hausas in the team.
Very
Why are
true.
there more Yorubas in the team? We don't even know.
In fact, when they want to do quota system in putting them, we'll be saying, wait. But we just choose merit, please.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
God we want. We don't want quota system.
You see how hypocritical we are. When we want to perform on, football is merit.
Yes.
Football, you cannot. Everybody is
Results to show everybody.
If referee is biased, everybody is
Yes.
and he has a chance of being banned. And it's 90 minutes. Whatever skill you have, put it into that 90 minutes.
So,
is it that now
we
or
don't
never?
want tribe.
We don't care who the coach is. The most important thing is let the coach be a good one.
That's all.
That's what Nigerians want.
If we can take our job that serious, the way football is, and if we go to office, it's like my 4 hours or 6 hours. I have to put in everything. If I don't put in everything, my country will fail.
Yeah.
So if all of us come with that mentality to work, Nigeria will not be here.
You and I, we are on citizenship advocacy today.
Nigeria will not be here.
But do you know that historically, countries that have seen themselves dissolve are countries that are either mono or they operate either one language or two
monolithic
language, or dialectic. Yes. But you see countries that are all over the place, over 300.
Because how many tribes
they
you want to
divide
divide into?
They will never divide. They will make progress. They will make progress, but they will never divide.
When they consider the number
When
of
they
tribes,
consider the cost of division.
you want to divide Nigeria into 400.
Do you know what happened in Yugoslavia? Yugoslavia broke into 6 nations in one day, and they suffered for it. Till date.
Yeah.
All the Czech Republic and the all others, Serbia and all of
Serbia,
them, they are still suffering from the effect of that breakup.
See
But they
Britain
were
and
better-
Brexit now.
Yeah,
they are now asking for, where are the housekeepers? Oh, where are the cleaners? When you were Brexiting to Europe, you did not know.
We didn't know that you were breaking down everything. And that's where we leave the gavel for today on the Middlemen. A special thank you to our jurors for their resonating cases. We've had the cases, and now the verdict is yours to carry forward. Follow the conversation at Enterprise TV across all platforms. Let your voice be a part of this movement. Until next time, stay informed and stay safe. From our esteemed jurors, we say goodbye to you all.